works or literally building a wall, but I think we settled more on the idea of using the pre-existing canals to sort of set up a series of trenches for defense.
Yeah. So those things are
fucking responsibilities are done.
Welcome. We're just catching up.
And I'm here. Sorry for interrupting.
Thank you for joining. No problem.
I can't even fucking hear you.
Oh, you can't?
Is this happy word shit? That's fucking great.
All right. Well, he can try his best. Other than that, it was also discussed to possibly bring a obelisk in progress up to the witch's tower, because Dex is back from the fort on the coast, and has put up the obelisk there. Nami has decided to stay there indefinitely to create a deck and start to work on boats. But now Dex is freed up, so he can throw together another obelisk for you guys in pretty quick order. And I think before we ended last time, the decision for what comes next was to bring Dex up to the tower for the first time and cart along a obelisk with all of you, and start getting that set up there while you have a chat with the Witch Guardian once more.
That sounds
I can learn to understand you much better if I can get familiar with the way you talk. I need your permission to help.
Really?
I don't want you to help. I want you to deactivate and never fucking talk to me again, you piece of shit.
Sass back. Really feel that way.
Sass back, man.
I know. I was gonna say I actually like that my devices know who I am.
That is some serious sass back.
I wonder if he still can't hear us.
I don't think he can.
Still can't hear you.
Well, that answers that.
Yeah, that's a no. And I like that my devices know my name. So much more personable when they say, "Have a nice day, Chris."
Yeah, I can't disagree with that.
I'm not going to thank Google, though.
I do it all the time.
I always thank the robot.
In fact, my Amazon robot says, "You bet."
Yeah, the Google one says similar things. No problem. I'm here to serve.
That's what I'm here for. That's another good one. And don't you ever forget it.
Just do yourself a favor and don't ever post that on Facebook or Twitter so that it doesn't, survive posterity. Because in the robot uprising, you really don't want them reading your tweets.
That's true.
He's back.
Nope.
But now we can't hear him?
Nope. The answer is no.
Okay.
I just see green rings.
See,
Oh.
I see
I don't
forms trying to reach
think
out.
the robot uprising is going to be
You
them,
guys
like,
can apparently hear me.
coming through and taking over and running everything so much as
I
them
see
just
green
figuring
rings.
out how to do their own operations without us.
Ah, yeah, so you can hear me. It's the same problem as last time. Check your Discord.
And so they just kind of ignore
Discord
us.
recognizing your speakers. Why the fuck would it be asking me that question? Output device. Well, I mean, it makes the noises whenever I hit the buttons and join thing. How do I do this?
Then I don't know, man.
No. Overlay. Language. Windows settings.
I'm going to step away for just a sec.
Video.
Sir, if you wanted to, if you can post the spells that What's-Her-Face
Where
has,
do I
that'd
get
be
this
great.
bullshit?
Sure, we can roleplay this once you're
Very specifically told it not to change any kind of audio device it's been asking me that strange question anyway.
Gonna be just a second, then I'll be just.
It's not under connections. What
Well,
the
he's
fuck
trying to
would it
figure
be?
that out.
Yeah, no problem.
So very unintuitive. Discord changes all your audio shit all the time. It's goddamn troll. It's in voice and video. Oh, lying fuckers. Why would it be in voice and video? Okay. When I speak, yada yada, reading the things, debugging. But there is it. Where acceleration, deal code, noise, expression, video settings. Input device.
I wonder if the rest
device
of his
should be
output is working.
speakers. Hey, look, it is work now.
I heard myself.
Yes, you heard
All right.
yourself. There we
Welcome.
go. Hello.
Welcome to the conversation.
Welcome.
Suka Blin. Suka Blin is such an interesting way. Basically, that.
Sir, you lagged.
I lagged? What do you mean?
Oh, now you're back. Okay, great.
Yeah, your voice ripped apart there for a second.
Oh, yeah. It's Suka Blin, because Blin means pancakes, right? Sort of like saying whore pancakes.
Right. Bitch cakes, actually.
Bitch cakes, exactly.
Like, explicitly. That's... Is that slang or something?
Blin is what you say when you want to say blat, except you're in front of your grandmother.
I see.
That's how
Yep.
it was explained to me, because
TIL.
because blat is a bad word. Blat means whore. So when you hear
Got
someone
it.
say suka blat, they're saying bitch whore.
Yep, I totally get it.
Yeah.
Wow. There's this whole Russian pop song that I've heard before. I realize now that the entire chorus is really disparaging.
Oh, probably.
Probably.
I learned that language because of CS:GO.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh yeah, it's like it's the main go-to is cursing people out in Russian.
And only Russian.
Kind of. It's because the Russians are the best players, so you need to get to them in order.
Got it. You got to be on their level.
Yeah.
It's like learning to speak Mandarin if you're going to go play Ark.
Mm-hmm.
AFK a second.
That's just a survival skill, though.
Yeah, no kidding.
I gotta say, I think everybody's gonna be wearing leather pants in the future.
You're saying they're quite comfortable?
They are very comfortable.
They can
It's
get
all about the
hot.
fit. Yeah, but like Andro said, if they're made to fit you and they have the correct inseam, then they will bellow up into your legs and your crotch. And so it doesn't exactly matter how hot it gets. You got air conditioning.
I see.
I see
Move
what
your
you're
legs
saying.
a little bit and it goes. It's pretty good.
I'm glad you're enjoying it.
I'm really enjoying them. They're very good. I'm glad that my research actually turned up something nice. And lambskin too. Like I've really been enjoying lambskin as a leather product guy.
I was gonna say that's fucking luxurious leather right there.
Mm-hmm. You know they call lamb meat angel meat just because of how luxurious and delicious it is.
That's funny. I did not know that.
Mm-hmm. Medieval
I'm back.
times, if they say that if the recipe takes angel meat, they're not being biblical. They're saying that it takes mutton.
Got it.
Okay, so Ernest, while we wait for Nimbus to get back, would you like to quickly activate a downtime activity? What do you want to do for your 7 days that you've got hanging out?
Irenaeus activates his trap card.
Well, it's been a bit of a strenuous adventure we just had, from what I remember.
Yeah, I mean, you guys basically went back to back from the flower sea over to that tree, and there was a good amount of bad shit that went down in both places.
Yeah, there was nothing.
Yeah. Naya said the same thing.
Yep. Everybody's fine now, though. Everybody made it home okay.
Yeah,
Excuse me.
but I think
Got your cool.
that was the longest, with the exception of maybe taking Orvis from that orb weaver thing.
Yeah.
I think that was like the longest time she'd been away from camp. And that's probably a good
Alright, I'm back.
incentive to focus on relaxing and recovering and just taking things a little easy for so long as like there's nothing pressing happening around.
Oh yeah, definitely not. You are always welcome to chill out. In fact, Alvis and Montlarin have been starting up a definitely not gambling ring locally.
Though I have another pastime. I'm a little distracted for the first few days of my pastime. I have a new thing. Though I am definitely helping Montlarin.
Is it cheating at gambling?
I'm still cheating at gambling. It's just I also have a new goal in mind.
Montlarin's not cheating, right?
Correct.
What?
Correct. Okay.
Why would he cheat? I need a good cop.
Yeah. No, I was just confirming. I didn't want to, role play for him.
Yeah, but Montlarin knows things.
He doesn't.
Yes, he does. He admitted that last time.
Does he?
Yeah. Remember, half the point of our little game is an exchange of skills.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Indeed. So, and Nimbus, to review your task, your last task before you jump out and head out at the break of the Redshift. If you approach Lufael or Lulu, as she's commonly requested, at some point to discuss wizardly things, she'll say that she's in fact happy to study with you, and reveals that she is an evoker.
All right.
I think she is. Yeah, she is. And she, you have yet to see her not holding this book very close, that you presume to be your spell book. So, what do you? How do you approach her about this?
Probably finding her when she's studying in the library, or if I'm working in the library and I see her pass by to strike up a conversation.
Okay, let's do that. Yeah, let's do that second one. So you reach out verbally, and she says, she seems immediately interested in the idea of studying together. She says, "Of course, I'd be happy to. I have my spells. She exclaims, I believe you're an evoker. I'm an evoker as well, and I have been working on
did you study with the man in the waterfall cave?
I've heard of him, but actually, my parents taught me most of what I know. Although I've taken bits and pieces from here and there. It's more more like short-term tutoring, rather than the kind of I've heard the man in the waterfall is quite harsh, and quite strict, and maybe I had an easier time.
You know, he's got a reputation for being strict and harsh, but I have to sympathize with him. It sounds like some of the people that were being sent his way weren't necessarily the most adept, or perhaps didn't have the same sort of patience for the arcane mathematics. He loved that stuff, and it's come in use for sure. But I can see how if somebody, comes in thinking they're gonna summon horses to ride off on, or cast magic missiles and fireballs, and they, get half a lesson full of how to calculate with the different runes in the dwarven alphabet. That sends people kind of a different direction. And I can see how if they're kind of committed to training with him, he would probably make things really tough. But I enjoyed it. It's been useful.
Yeah, well, I mean, my both of my parents are moon elves, so they were able to teach me what they know, and then that's where I got most, the magic missile, the chromatic orb, and whatnot. And then I pulled a couple things here and there from other people I've trained with. So I'm still working on really getting down stuff like fireball, but up to that point, I've got. Well, hopefully you can decipher my my notes. I like to think they're neat. And she opens her spell book to an arbitrary page that's a collection of one of her spells, and it's probably like the most textbook version of a wizard's custom, because every wizard has a custom version of how they write down their spell in their spell book. Mm-hmm. Any given spell will have similarities between two spell books, but pretty much all of the organization is essentially made up from the ground up. Her spell book in a lot of places is what you would expect to have in a library where you are learning how to wizard, in terms of the way she's written and built these diagrams. And so she'll spend some time reviewing some of those with you. Obviously not doing any demonstrations because spell slots need to be saved for adventuring. But she can... she's happy to swap spell books. We did downtime last time, so there's no time to copy anything down for now. But just for your information, you've got... Oh, I'm going to have to input that. All right. You know what the other thing I like about Fantasy Grounds is it doesn't lag whenever you try to cast a spell.
No.
Right.
Oh god, those are sending to GM. I apologize. Let me try that again. I didn't notice. I cast like 4 spells already. There we go. So you two are able to kind of spend just a little bit of time swapping secrets, and she says when we have more time and we can really take a day or two to sit down and share spells. Happy to let you have a closer look at my book. I might even make go through the effort to make a backup, just in case.
It's all innuendo with you wizards.
Yeah. I do see that we know a lot of the same spells, quite honestly.
Oh, that's... she says, well, that's good. I mean, then, probably, we can help each other, right?
Definitely.
At the very least, you can help me, get better. It's really my first time on a real quest. I mean, if you know how to cast a lot of these already, then I know who to come to for help.
You have your own diamond for chromatic orb, right?
Indeed, I do. I'm well prepared, at least.
Oh, fantastic.
She is readily equipped with wand, component pouch, diamond, everything she needs, including a couple extras for spells she might be working on at the time. All stocked up and ready to go.
What are all the spells that you know off the top of your head without needing the book? That any given day of the week, if you haven't looked at the book whatsoever.
That was all of them. That was aside from her cantrip.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. Is the cantrips?
Oh, okay. Cantrips are there. We go.
Mage hand, illusion.
Dancing light, firebolt, mage hand, minor illusion.
Okay, that's pretty balanced. She's got a light, an attack, a utility, and her illusion's also a good utility. All right.
Yep. She's got she explains that she inherited the illusion magics from her parents. But the rest were all training.
Interesting. Good to know. Moon elves, where the raging. Oh yeah, no. I think I might know approximately where you live. Well, I'll have to pull up my map. I think that's back at Fort Maricus.
I have mini maps. All I do is maps. Well, I do.
I don't know if you ever saw the map of the Silver Coast.
I don't know if I did, if I was there or not. If I was there, I would have definitely asked to copy the map just because of who Alvis Tabber was.
The thing is, I don't know if I would have ever pulled it out.
Yeah.
It's like just tucked away somewhere.
No, that makes sense.
All right. Well, I think that's a good plan. We should definitely meet back. In fact, I've been doing a lot of spell production to help raise funds around here. I just spent a bunch on major upgrades, but I have enough that I could work through the process with you on doing the level 2 spell, for example.
I'd be happy to learn how. Yeah.
You actually write in such a formal style. I could see that even fetching an extra price. Somebody who just likes absorbing information in the most formal and well-informed way possible.
She glows and says, I just like to be neat,
I did actually have a question about your scroll production in this.
Mm-hmm.
This is a semi-question to Serb as well. See, Alvis Tabber has a lovely sleight of hand, which I would like to also mean that he is, graceful with a pen. The only thing that he has any grace in. And he was wondering if he could get involved in helping you make scrolls faster.
So my rule is that anybody who can cast a slot spell can make a
If the
scroll.
only one can make the scroll?
Yeah.
But I can cast spells.
Yeah, no, exactly. I was confirming for you. Actually, not even a slot spell. You could do cantrips too, although nobody really does those. But yeah, if you want to make scrolls, you are welcome to. Let me just
Some
copy paste.
cantrips are worth something.
They're worth a little bit, yeah.
I was gonna do hideous laughter and sleep, but I mean,
Let me.
his thing.
Here you go. I will paste in the rule set for crafting a scroll. These are, I believe, they're using the rules. Well, some of the rules that are in Xanathar's guide for the pricing and stuff, and then I created the rules for how we actually determine the quality of your scroll. Also, in terms of actual scroll crafting, anybody who's doing this can feel free to define what their scrolls actually take the form of. Nimbus, I think his scrolls are pretty traditional, and I know Montlaren's are like snappable, breakable dream catcher sort of things.
Yeah, exactly.
But mine are always.
Oh, that's interesting.
Mine are always by request. If I'm getting a specific request for a certain style, then I'll always work for that.
Okay, got it.
I don't have proficiency in Arcana.
Okay, that is a limitation then.
Mm-hmm. Well.
But I think you could take it at your next level.
Yeah, actually, I'm going to get proficiency in Arcana at next level. I know because of things that I have talked to Serb about.
Yep.
Though I don't know what form that's going to take in yet.
Yeah, we'll continue working on that.
Oh, most definitely. Yeah. I still need what is it, like 250 experience?
Yeah, you're very close, I think. Yep, 250. So, this session maybe.
It'll be really cool. But I'll get Arcana in. I'll get proficiency on Arcana. That is a hint.
So, moving on to the actual main event. All plans being what they were, so just confirm or deny for me. Our next plan was to head back out to the Witch Guardian's tower and deliver the good news of the retrieval of 2 out of 3 keys to her.
Also introduce Decus to the Witch Guardian.
And
yes, and also bring up an obelisk. Yep,
that sounds right to me.
So the last time we escorted Dex to put up an obelisk somewhere, we were attacked by an army of methods.
Oh yeah, I was there for that.
Let's try to be a little more careful this time.
Dex says agreed. It's a little hard to be stealthy with a cart.
Is there any way we could turtle our cart?
Any way you could what?
Turtle it. Make it either low to the ground or defensible, somewhat disguised.
18.
Well,
maybe. You might be able to camouflage it a little bit. I'm sure you guys have some gray tarps that will suit the snow nicely.
Well, here's the thing: is we know where the hills are. We know where the cover is to be able to kind of split the view from east and west. So we can rely on the paths that we already know, and in combination with that, anywhere that the snow is deeper, just makes the job easier for me. I could just make a large formation of water in the shape that we need and cut a swath through. It's cold enough that it kind of freezes.
If it's cold enough, you could make a mist and like obscure us with a cloud of frozen mist.
But no, Nimbus just reminded me. I've been fucking stupid. Sir, because of Albus Taver's worry about, traveling stealthily throughout the places, he's been, he's backtracked through these lands a few times. Would he be able to have mapped out rudimentary paths that might be more stealthy than other paths that might be more straightforward, and etc.?
Why don't you give me a let's see. Do you have a skill that would reflect your cartography? Yeah, you do. Why don't you give me a roll on your cartographer's tools? And we'll see. We'll see if you can get some like stealth advantages out of that.
All right.
Oh yeah, totally.
good.
You're like back and forth. You've gone between where you are and this temple a few times now, and you've been taking note of these places that seem to maybe a little more roundabout, but just as quick in terms of travel time, and a little bit safer going between trees and going around hills and whatnot.
Yeah, just like Nimbus said, like I wouldn't have had this idea without
Yeah.
Thank you for reminding me how to use my skills correctly. We do know how to get through these lands. That's what I fucking do.
Very good.
Remind me again, what's a potion of poison for 30 marks?
It's like 1 gold.
Potion of
It's
poison.
a vial of paralytic poison.
Oh, okay.
No. This is in fact a potion. It will poison whoever drinks it. Do I have the stats on hand? I don't have my DMG.
If only I had that last vial.
I got it.
Of the paralytic poison from the bugs. I sent one off.
There's still 4 and
I'm pretty sure I have one.
Well, that'd be cool. I have a. No, you should say.
I have one.
Yeah, it's if you can get a creature to drink it, they'll take 3d6 per turn until they start succeeding on saves.
It's unknown whether or not they could synthesize anything out of just one.
So, potion of poison is basically if you succeed on command spell. It's like, yo, drink this, dog.
It very specifically in command says that they cannot be willed to do something that would cause them harm.
They don't know that it's going to cause them harm.
If they don't know that it's poison,
that's exactly what
you might be able to get away with that.
Yep.
So drink this beer, sir.
Yeah. If you put it in a goblet, and we're like, hey, drink that cool goblet.
Are you thinking what I'm thinking? That we should poison Sharp? Trying to invite him.
No, you can think that all you want. I was actually just wondering what it was. If it was something that gets applied on stuff or something someone has to chug.
No, actual poison that can be applied to weapons can be bought from Mercutio.
Oh, it can be bought. So, that's nice.
I think so. Let me see. Basic poison.
50 gold.
Potion of water breathing for 50. Potion of climbing for 25.
Let me see. Well, I think we're up to the point where you guys can buy. We're level 5.
Well, we just became level 5. I don't think the upgrade's ready just yet, is it? I'll take it.
That's true. Yeah.
I figured
then
we had to come back
time,
to get that one.
You should be able to buy like Alchemist Fire and basic poison.
God damn, we've gotten there already. Nice. Well done.
Hit by a poisoned weapon or ammunition must make DC 10 or take 1d4 poison damage and retains potency for 1 minute.
Then AC 15 stuff is going to be available.
Correct.
Which kind of sucks for armor users because you're not going to get your full plate until
for a bit.
Level 8?
We're working on it.
I'm a Dex guy. Really, honestly, I've been trying to look for materials to give to Mercutio in order to get my armor class higher.
But why don't we pull you guys over to the Redshift zone? Let me make sure everything's going to load. Okay. All right. Everybody close your eyes for about 5 seconds.
There, let me,
there we go.
Character sheet up.
Yeah, it's a little known property of the Redshift that it gives you omniscience for about 3 seconds before it gives you a very pixely omniscience.
It's just so shocking that
Yeah, dazzling is what I was gonna say. It's so dazzling that you are unaware of what you've just seen. All right, we're gonna bring an obelisk. We're gonna try to disguise shit. We have some.
So you guys have a cart. You have Dex will go to Montlarin and he'll say, your steed, would you be willing to help pull the cart? Or
Oh, of course.
Right. Okay, great. We can take the lizards through the swamp for now, and then once we leave the swamp, perhaps leave them at Castus, and then we'll just go the cart from there and take it on foot.
Sounds good.
So you guys will be going at normal speed. So 4 hexes a day. We are going to, after we get out of Thesbridge, roll for encounters normally. Yeah, I think you guys know where you're going. So why don't we... yeah, there's room in the cart. It's just carrying a bit. Dex is able to do this all by himself. He's a big, strong man. But he's got the mithril, very, very tall, kind of twisted structure that is built to hold the Kairos onyx that has been purchased from the Empire, or with the Empire's help. This thing is maybe like a 6 to 7 foot tall chunk of mithril with a pedestal that can be fit into the ground. Fortunately, mithril is pretty lightweight, and so that gets laid down in the cart, belted down. The onyx is it's like a solid boulder of this stuff that he's able to just kind of slowly waddle over into the cart, plop it down. He hasn't finished his the rune crafting on it just yet, but he says, work on it while we're out camping, and if necessary, once we get to the tower, and then it's just a matter of assembly. So he'll belt that down as well, throw the tarp over the whole thing, belt that down, throw another tarp over it.
Will the existence of the pillar act as a magnet, since it is not put together yet as an obelisk?
Well, it should. The onyx itself has most of the inherent magic here. Aside from the he gets a little it's a little hard to go through it without getting into the full detail of how everything
so
works.
We actually need to be prepared to defend.
He says, well, hopefully not. I mean, truly, the only way this should attract anything is if somebody knew what it was and was able to,
if they were already watching.
Exactly. If they were already watching, or perhaps if somebody was able to locate an object and they knew what they were looking for, if they were to try to locate an obelisk, perhaps this unfinished obelisk here might trigger such a spell.
Okay.
Or if somebody were to try scrying, they might be able to do that, but that's usually focused on people or places.
Where is it ever a nice journey out there? We should always be prepared to defend.
So, indeed, unless we run into some creature that can smell onyx from 20 miles out, I would hope we'll be fine.
I
But
honestly hope we see that fucking rabbit.
Well, if you
Hypno
recall,
rabbit. Gonna
on
fucking
the
die.
incident of attracting the mephits, we were carrying a fully put together, I think,
I do
obelisk. And it definitely contributed to attracting the mephits. So what I'm looking at is, because this one is not put together, are the chances less, or are they the same, or what? So now we know.
I'll be happy to not see any methods.
Me as well.
Shame.
I think part of why we were spotted there too is that they were already looking for us. There were, 50 little eyes about trying to spot us, and all it takes is one. It's not like we were in really that much of a guarded position when we were spot.
Now Stabber pops his collar, and we've dealt with that guy who was looking with that for us.
Yes, and ideally the others who would be hunting us shouldn't still know we're here. If all has gone well. Well, we haven't heard any news from Castus, the closest point to them, at least. So, no news from them not no news, in fact, but good news from them. All is well up north for now. Still, better to be ready than caught by surprise. So, I'm fully prepared, and spells at the ready. I'll
I put myself right next to the object of dearest importance, constantly under guard.
And Bet Mounty doesn't need a driver, right? Your horse is smart.
He's a good boy.
Yeah. Okay. So you guys can pretty much go in whatever marching order you want. And you'll get this thing to follow you just fine without any guidance. Why don't we do it? The way we'll go is, obviously, because you guys are able to move quite quickly to Thes Bridge, it's a very short walk. You will get the full 4 hexes of travel out of Thes Bridge, and so we'll just go normally. In terms of encounter rolling from there, and I would like to ask that why don't we cycle through top to bottom in Discord order for who's going to move the token, and then subsequently roll if it calls for a roll. Sound good to everyone?
Sounds good. Works
so
for me.
Albus, Arenaeus, Montlaur, Naya, Nimbus, and then Ambergreen, because his name is still in Hope.
It's still a what?
Your name is Omwa in Discord.
Oh, of course.
It's all good there.
Boom.
All right. So the first hex is free, and then we'll do the afternoon roll, the evening roll, and then the nighttime roll.
1d20?
It is a 1d20. Yes.
Okay. That is a 2.
A 2. All is well during the day. Arenaeus, you don't see anything particularly interesting. You're, for the most part, following Albus Taver's directions, which I presume he's shouting out of the cart.
However he's
telling you where he's recommending you all go.
My mage hand is giving articulate messages.
Neon mage hand sign.
Yeah. It's the big crazy taxi pointer. It's
totally
that way.
Awesome.
All right then. Montlaur, you're up.
Alrighty. That's the encounter check button, right?
Yes it is. The encounter check button. 16. The afternoon goes by uneventfully. And you're able to continue on. Naya, your turn. A 6. All right. So this takes place after you guys have set up camp. Naya, you have decided to take a portion of the night watch tonight. Dex has long since gone to bed after doing some work on his obelisk. You listen to him kind of chisel away at the onyx stone, very carefully carving out these arcane runes, and perhaps spent some time chatting with him, if you like, about that while he's doing it, and before everybody else goes to bed. But a little bit after that, I'm going to need you to roll an encounter button, if you would.
What's the little blue square up above us to the left?
I believe that is the ice structure that you guys encountered that one time.
Yeah, it's a square that I put there, but I don't remember what for.
It was that.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, it was that.
Fort.
It was that ice castle.
Yeah. Probably still there.
Good
It's
memory.
I remember.
So, does Naya take walks during the evening at all?
When she's on shift and she's on patrol, only as far as her patrol is supposed to go.
Okay.
Otherwise, she's on point.
Yeah. You patrol a little ways away from the camp, just as it starts to get dark, from any light sources that you guys have.
Do I have my mount with me?
Your lizard?
Yes.
You can if you want, but I'd assume you've got enough viability to walk on foot.
Okay.
And in an area that you had not seen before, you spy behind some trees a kind of diamond-shaped purple crystal floating about a foot off the ground. It's maybe 3 feet tall and glowing very slightly.
The crystal is 3 feet tall and floating a foot off the ground?
Yes.
That's interesting.
I bet if you run over it, it'll make a noise and you'll get like money or something.
Is there a slot machine? Oh, sorry.
Right. Just sounds like a pickup. That or a sim died here.
Doesn't it?
Oh God.
I am imagining it as a plumb bob, in fact.
Oh, that was the corpses in Final Fantasy Tactics also.
Language, man.
Yep.
Good use.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, you're right. Final Fantasy Tactics.
Dude.
All right. Well, she does not have detect magic prepared.
Counts as a ritual, right? Or do you have to have it prepared to ritual?
It has to be prepared.
It has to be prepared for a druid.
Oh.
So, yeah. How far away from it am I?
A few meters. The glow, by the way, is a low light glow. It doesn't have a detectable magical aura that you can see without detect magic. Obviously, it's some kind of magic. It's flowing.
Right.
What?
And glowing.
Naturally cause, it can't be radiation.
I guess it could be radiation.
Ionizing radiation.
Purple ionizing radiation.
No, right? Magic.
Well,
radiation.
she's definitely curious, but also wary. So, she kind of slowly walks toward it, but she's also kind of keeping an eye out in case this is some kind of a trap.
Would you like to make a perception check?
Yes.
Go right ahead. seems all clear to you. The area is quiet, aside from the usual nighttime sounds of winter, and so muted and chilly, and you don't see any creatures around you. You don't see any signs of people or really anything else having been through this location.
Are there any footsteps or creature steps or footprints of any kind?
Aside from the talon prints that you've just left in the short inch of snow that's still on the ground, no.
Times like this, Naya wishes she had some kind of a device that could capture an image, but that she could take it back to show the others. Where's my cell phone when I need it? Is the crystal responding at all to her proximity?
It doesn't seem to be. It's just sort of gently spinning and giving off the occasional pulse of slightly brighter light, and then dim light again.
Huh. You can't cast prestidigitation.
Yeah, this one is certainly a temptation. But she also kind of feels like that might be really dumb. She's really wary.
How is she with the lasso?
Yeah, I don't know.
What's Naya's wisdom?
Just a sec.
Oh, she's a druid. She's supposed to be.
She's a druid. 18.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, I could do...
She's not the -1 wisdom touch everything that looks good.
No. But she's definitely right in this minute. She's like heading towards, I gotta touch it because it's shiny.
Mm-hmm.
Do like the shine.
I mean,
she could do an insight check. She could do... Yeah. Nature.
I would...
But her perception roll, even though it was good, didn't really yield much.
Yeah, that was you basically looking around. I could let you do an Arcana check to see if you can kind of...
She's got nothing in Arcana.
give it a good poke.
Yeah, nothing.
Oh. Mysterious crystal.
Right.
Very strange.
Oof.
If you could cast prestidigitation, the very last effect that it says is that you can create a non-magical trinket and or illusionary image that can fit in your hand that lasts until the end of your next turn, or, till you're done concentrating up to it, up to 1 hour. That could be done to do a,
Oh, like a photo, I get you.
Yeah.
Exactly. It looked like this, and then you make a picture of it in your hand.
Minor
Right.
illusion is also great for that.
Oh yeah, totally. Minor illusion does everything prestidigitation does.
Yeah.
You don't even.
Well,
have to
she
be
keeps.
fucking
She continues very slowly and carefully walking towards the crystal, and every time she takes another step, she stops, listens, looks around.
Unchanging.
She's on guard duty, so she's supposed to be like guarding the camp, not over here investigating some purple crystal.
Yeah, you're not too far away, but it's a little off track.
Yeah. So,
but yeah, as you approach, you're maybe a couple inches away from this thing now, and it is unchanged.
all right. So she's gonna reach out a claw, very gradually, and just see if it changes at all as her talon gets any closer to it.
All right,
but without touching it.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So you get.
Do you feel the magical heat?
Right. She's looking for either a reaction, a response, something.
Nothing but the purplish light dancing over your scales happens.
Touch it.
I know. You're no help.
and then take it back to Alvistaver so that he can appraise it for you.
Well, she's gonna go ahead and touch it.
All right, so you
She
push your
touches the
talon,
talon, just
the
the
extra
tip of a talon.
couple centimeters you need.
Yeah, and she's gonna touch it.
There's a small static shock, and then the object goes dark. It loses all light and disintegrates into dust. And you feel yourself filled with a unusual amount of power, and have gained a temporary 3rd level spell slot extra above your ordinary 2.
Whee! How long does it last?
Until you long rest, or until you use it.
Nifty. Okay, I don't really have a way to add that, do I?
It was a pickup.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think so.
She has an extra pouch with her, and so she's gonna gather up the dust from the snow, and she's gonna gather snow with it, but she wants to see if she can gather any evidence at all and head back to camp with that.
Okay. Yeah, there's not much of this thing left, and even just running it through your hands, it's like no more than sand. But you can definitely you can definitely scoop it up, and hey, at worst you can always throw it at somebody.
Right. I don't really have a way to add another 3rd level spell slot.
No, if you can just note it down somewhere on your sheet, that'll do for now, and I'll do my best to remember for you as well.
Oh, did anybody get anything that gave them the physical or mental inspiration?
I don't think anybody did that last week. We were mostly doing other kinds of activities, although I think Ambergreen might have done a little bit.
I did. Yeah, I have mine.
Cool.
So Naya, the rest of the evening passes uneventfully, and you're able to trade off your shift to whoever wakes up in the morning.
Hello.
And take the rest of your sleep. No other problems or challenges occur for you throughout the night.
This seems to be something that she would tell everybody about the next morning.
Sure.
What an interesting tale.
Yeah. And then it was gone, and I can feel the power still, but the actual item is gone. I wish I could have brought back a picture of it or something. Was it pretty? What?
Did you eat any mushrooms that we found on the trail?
No, I just touched it.
Oh, okay.
You said you have some of the sand left over?
Yeah, whatever's left of it was dust laying on the snow, so I picked that up and stuck it in this pouch.
We'll have to check that out later.
Yeah. Not much.
The Nimbus.
Dex is up and double checking his obelisk and making sure it's all secure before the cart gets moving again. And he's kind of distracted while you're telling the rest of the party about this. But I assume you are able to convey in some way that you feel an increase in power, essentially. Because that's the sort of thing you can kind of just innately tell.
Hey, sir.
Yes, sir.
Do I have enough time during this journey while watching Decus to take notes about his process in making the obelisk from within my barrel?
That is not hard. He's not unwilling to let you sit by him too. If you were to ask, if you could watch, he has no problems with an audience. He'll even chew your ear off about explaining the process to you in grave detail.
Oh, please do, because Alvis Tabber will go into first student mode, which is copying down, material for people so that they can learn how to write, and then he's going to send off a highly detailed report on how these things actually work.
So as far as Dex is concerned, that before coming out to the Redshift zone, he was a lecturer in the capital city. That was his job. I
just assume that he's also smart, and maybe he would be. I don't know. I didn't hear of him before this mission, so I don't know if he's ever lectured at my guild or not.
I probably not anywhere you would have attended. He is the sort of wizard who teaches the aspiring, definitely going to drop out 10 children of random ass nobles from around the country, where one of them is going to actually maybe become a level 1 wizard someday. And
you already know Alvis Tabber is interested in that. So he's already, he's already willing to listen to this on a personal level. This is also just down for business as well. If Alvis Tabber knew all this, then this is an opportunity to be able I got some personal time with this doctor, and here's some information, that you might want to use.
I'm kind of surprised that Dex would be so willing to share the information, because into the wrong hands, it could be dangerous.
Because you think I'm a slimy rat.
Well, that too, but just in general,
Keen is not a rat. Keen is a mouse. Thank you very much.
Naya, would you actually express that sentiment while
to Alvis Tabber?
Or even to Dex?
I think I might say it kind of sotto voce. Or maybe
you're up next to move.
Grab him kind of on the side later, and just ask about it, because it is kind of surprising. And while I admire Alvis Tabber's persistence and his curiosity and interest, I don't really trust his motives, and I don't trust his guild's motives for sure.
Man, you've seen Sharp. I am insane.
Dex says, well, I do get your point. I suppose I can get a bit carried away when it comes to explaining the thought process. The way I see it is, I would find it very difficult to misuse this knowledge, even if I had a mind to. Nope, Nimbus, you're all good. Amber Green, you'll be the next one to move, but we can finish this roleplay. Because I am an observer, and I protect people. That's people and things. That's what I'm focused on. It's perhaps a little bit harder than other schools of magic to pervert that into something dangerous.
Okay, that sounds fair. I'm not, I'm just a druid, so I don't understand these things certainly beyond the most superficial level. So I appreciate you explaining it, but I just kind of wondered. It's a powerful thing here. It seems like it, just could be misused.
Should the method by which the obelisks work fall into the hands of somebody who would like to do them harm, they may be able to do them harm. But they could also do them harm simply by knocking them over.
Right. Okay.
I admit it might not be the most comforting thing to have that knowledge, but as long as we're careful, these things should be quite secure.
All right, well,
Albus
thank you.
Dabber, I'd be happy to review your notes for, of course, the comfort of the commission.
I would be absolutely willing to give you a copy of my notes, unaltered, of course.
Sure.
In fact, to be entirely honest, if I like heard the conversation or was walked in, right, it would be that I would love to see this knowledge be used to help protect our collection rather than maybe the motives of individuals. That is the truest difference between.
I agree, and Dex is sort of the mind, like he's not going to patent a spell, and or a device. And he says if somebody can study my work and build off of it to create something that protects a location from harm, I've done a good thing.
Sure.
Yeah, so you learn, Albus Dabber, a fair bit about just the sorts of letters and characters that are utilized in solidifying reality through this device. Kind of how it connects into, or how it's designed to connect into, and flow through and deliver power kind of through the grounded mithril thing. And also part of the system for how it supports the communication devices that are now built into the obelisks.
Damn.
Although that usually comes last. So getting into tomorrow, Ember Green, you can go ahead and make your move and then make the first encounter check of the day.
Okay. Which way are we headed? We're going north?
Due north.
Indeed.
The obelisk cast us.
All right.
Yeah, you guys could stop over there and fill up on rations again. Oh, Ember Green, have you got your create food and water prepared? Just wanted to check to see if you're handling that.
Let me double check.
Track.
I do have it prepared.
Okay, great. If we want to assume that you're handling that, as long as you have it prepared, then we don't really have to worry about making you guys like deduct rations or anything.
Okay, yeah, I do have it prepared.
Cool.
So I'll be doing that when we camp each time, and then I just roll a 14.
Awesome. A 14 is good for you guys. Smooth sailing through the day. And then Albus Dabber can move once again back to the top.
Boop, 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 boom. And then encounter. Wrong one.
No, wrong one.
Yes.
Nice, same number. Very cool.
Kind of creepy.
Yeah. Actually, do you guys want to go ahead and roll initiative for me? And
Telling. No, I'm joking.
and then we can. Oh, right. You can't roll without your tokens, can you?
I cannot roll without my.
What if we put your tokens over here in the corner?
Clever.
That means I have to find them. In the corner.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna put them next to Orvis, but on the grass, so that they're in a convenient location.
All right.
And finally get to kill that damn rabbit.
Oh no, we're not doing combat. I'm just doing this so that you guys can, so that we can keep track of world initiative, because I think that'll be nice and convenient. I'm going to sort you guys into alphabetical order.
Still doesn't mean that eventually I'm not gonna be.
Thanks, gang.
That damn rabbit.
That's not how alphabetical works. Roll 20. I said A to Z.
That,
What the fuck?
that looks like reverse initiative order.
Oh, there we go. All right.
That works now.
Why does Roll20 think that M comes after N?
Shrug.
That's pretty weird. Anyway, very good. Now we know whose turn it is. I don't have to call on people. Yeah, good. Okay. That was the evening roll. So now for the nighttime roll, Irenaeus, and you can move your token or the party token.
All right, so
hit that D20.
Yeah, my character sheet was in the way.
A 10.
10.
You spend part of the night on watch tonight. Fortunately, nothing happens.
Excellent. I love a calm night.
Yeah.
So do
All
I.
right. Cool, calm winter night.
First one's free, right?
Yes, it is. Then we're back to Naya.
I love the wind in my hair.
Now, I had a hard time visualizing where we were headed. We're headed up to this tower. Here.
Indeed, we are. Yep. Okay, and then Nimbus will. Well, let's see. Do you guys just want to stay at this temple? You're getting there in the evening, so you can probably
we would
stop over
overnight
there.
at the temple.
Yeah, it's far safer.
Yeah.
All right. So you guys are able to restock, take a break at the temple, get some decent food, a little bit better than trail rations anyway. And
highly interested in if they have any news about the front or our enemy.
Giant sighting.
There's a few people here, and what they tell you is that the brigadier told a couple of the scouts who were staying here to go back out east this week and see if they can find any more evidence. So this was something that was mentioned before you guys left Orbis as well, so you knew about this. They tell you by now it's been about 3 days, so they should be around where they were. I mean, they'll tell you if you look at the map, like around here was where they found that thing that they mentioned, this strange crater.
Yeah.
So they were going to go back there, but if they can find any additional trail for these giant boots, they were going to try to very carefully see where they go and report back.
Okay.
The brigadier is well aware that there's some decent risk in doing this, but she felt that it was more dangerous to potentially have no idea what's going on than to risk being spotted once again.
Very smart. It's an active defense. Having good information.
So, hopefully by the time you all head back here, if you decide to come back after the first wave, we'll have some news.
Wonderful.
News?
Hopefully.
That's what he said.
Hopefully good news. All right then. So we will go to Nimbus. Nimbus, I know you have not been able to make a roll yet, so feel free to move us to the first 2 spaces as you head out of the obelisk, Castus.
All right.
And you can make the first roll of the day. Oh, great. A 20. All is well.
Booyah, Kinosabe. Well done.
Okay. Embergreen, your turn. We're getting out there. You guys are expecting to get there.
What's the X?
That was, I believe, the
That's
first
to
location.
be avoided.
Yeah, I was like, we were going there once, and we were trying to go around that, right?
Yeah, that's where we ran into the giant and his sister. Yeah,
right. The not little girl.
Right.
Yeah, the adult woman who rides on him sometimes. Very nice 11. All is well for you as well, Amber Crane.
Sweet.
So that was the evening. So you guys, Albus Tavern, you'll be taking Night Watch tonight.
Hell yeah.
And you can go ahead and do your move as usual. I like this system. This is a lot faster than trying to decide just who's going to roll. Albus Tavern, happily enough, you're able to spend the night scribbling in your books and papers, and occasionally hearing a sound but identifying it as just ordinary woods, foxes, birds, owls.
Yeah.
Nothing shocking or startling occurs during the night for you.
Okay.
And back to morning. By the time you guys are all up and ready to go, Dex has basically got his obelisk at this point ready to be assembled. He says, good luck so far. Weather's held out. Redshift is held out for us. As long as it doesn't start today, we should be able to get this thing put together before it does start.
Hell
Good
yeah.
job.
Lead the way, everyone.
Bully.
First two?
You can move the first one.
Okay.
Alrighty. Then we can go to Montlarin. Okay. A 10 is uneventful. Naya? A 10 is still uneventful. And then finally, Nibis, you can get us there in good time. A quick 5-day hike was all it took for you to arrive back at the Witch Guardian's Tower of the Flower Sea.
Before we get there,
indeed.
I gotta ask everybody, should I send Badath up real quick to make sure there isn't a giant sitting outside punching the tower?
That's probably a good idea.
Be intelligent.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
The downside is if there is a giant, they're going to see the bird and, of course, know that we're coming.
Well, maybe. It's definitely a risk, but not a guarantee.
Suppose if I keep them close to the tree line, it should be fine.
Yeah, I'll also give you the what we usually do with the site for the local hexes if you do that.
Sounds good.
All right, so you will do it?
Yeah.
Cool. So you get a few more miles of forest on your map, and you can Badath can see the tower from here. Sort of, it itself is below the tree line, but there's quite the clearing, and you can kind of see the edge of the Flower Sea where it's close by, so you recognize the area. All seems to be well there.
Until you suddenly see a giant dragon.
5 dragons. Actually, just 5 different colored dragon heads.
Oh, wow.
Oh, awesome.
Wait, what?
No, all is well. You guys are able to arrive back at the Witch's Tower unharmed, unbothered. And pretty much as soon as you... Oh, is that not the right token? He doesn't have any stats on him. That's fine. As soon as you get close enough, the Witch Guardian herself, or the ghostly pair of arms that project from these devices in the tower will materialize and greet you. And
How to do that?
she'll say, her voice will echo out from not quite from where her representation is floating, but from the space above, and she'll say, "My friends, the Expeditionary Commission, welcome back. I was hoping I'd hear from you again soon."
We're glad to be back.
Glad to see you again.
Yeah.
So far, we've had success. We were able to get the treasure from the Flower Sea, the first key, as well as the one from the tree down south. We haven't quite found the dancing hills, the shifting hills.
Oh my!
Dancing
What? Wow, very good. Tell me, what did you find in these places? It was all well when you went there.
The Flower Sea has held a scepter that mostly blue, has a sapphire gem on the end of it, and about the size of the ones for the lock that we found. It seems to be useful to control sea creatures. It has a few charges per day.
I dubbed it the Scepter of the Deep.
That's yes, that's correct. That is the item. Good work. And then the dagger you should have been able to find at the tree.
That's correct.
Guardian tree.
And it has seems to have a property that sucks the water out of something that's been struck with a certain intent.
I call it Azure Dagger.
Well, I'm in your debt once again. Like I said, I've been protecting that scepter for, well, my whole life and then some, I suppose, at this point. So, knowing that it's in good hands is a comfort.
We should probably introduce Dex.
Yeah, he is. He was kind of waiting for his moment to jump in and interrogate this with delight. This ghost about what exactly she is and how she works. So there is a span of perhaps 5 minutes where you are all forgotten, and an in-depth explanation of the inner workings of this tower is provided between two people at an extremely high level.
Can I copy at least the words that they're saying in copy mode? I forgot what the job was called in courtrooms.
The stenographer?
Transcription.
Scribe.
Give me a. Why don't you just give me a cartography roll again? We'll call that for writing.
Okay.
We'll see how much.
It's literally like Court Illustrator or something like that.
Yeah. You get most of it.
Stenographers, I believe, that writes the words.
Alice Tavern, there are a few words and concepts you've never heard in here. And so, like, several locations in your notes are just, like, question mark. But you'll ask him later.
Yeah, exactly. You got it.
Eventually the conversation turns to the obelisk itself. And Dex turns to you guys and he says, it's getting pretty late. I can get started on setting up this obelisk. Miss Lomefield, if you'll have us officially representing the Redshift Expeditionary Commission, I'd like to propose an alliance between our group and you. And if you'll permit me, I will put up this obelisk in a convenient location such that your tower is protected from the Redshift and such that my companions can use this as a home base of sorts. Of course, up to your discretion on who and how you would like to permit visitors. And she says, of course, that's what I discussed with your friends already, and I'm happy to oblige. In fact, if there's anything I can do to help you build it, I'd love to just watch even. And from what you've told me, I think anybody is welcome here. Use this location as you will. If you're going to stop the Redshift, then I'll do everything in my power to help you. Oh, speaking of which, she disappears for a minute, and rather than rematerialize in front of you, you hear one of the doors in the tower slide open and then shut again. And her arms float back through from within toward you guys. And she is carrying in her spectral hands a small metal box. And she says, "You reminded me. After you left last time, I started work. I had a few things lying around, and I wanted to do something to help you all in exchange for helping me, saving me. She'll hold it out for somebody to take."
Ooh, what is it? What is it? I jump up. What'd you get us?
Alvis Tabber, you grab the device. It's a little big handheld for you, a gnome, but is still quite easy to hold. And it's a
we get over to the group.
Yeah, it is a kind of rectangular device that has one large button on it, and a couple of smaller buttons that can be pressed, and as well as a what you would identify as a safety mechanism, preventing the buttons from being pushed.
Oh. Damn it.
She says, "Now be careful with this. This device will hopefully help you.
Does this box look like the one that shot the coin out at me?
No.
Okay.
This device will, if you encounter anybody in a similar situation to me, a ghost, bound to a place, I've designed this so that you can divorce their spirit from whatever object they've been tied to.
I ain't afraid of no ghost.
Well, it's less about you being afraid of the ghost, and more for those who might be
Who need to call?
who need to move on.
Yeah. They need to. If they needed to call anybody, they would call us, and we would, bust up that bind between their soul and.
But of course, that would be a matter of asking them first. I think High Priest Guyvian Larry's might actually want to stay at the temple for a little bit still. You'll be able to communicate with him soon too, using this device.
Well, it won't help you communicate. It is just a
Sounds like a severing device.
Yeah.
yes. That's correct.
Okay.
The first button will allow you to cut away a spirit from its earthly tether in proximity. The second should help you in situations where perhaps you're having difficulty speaking to this person for whatever reason. And the third should help you in cases of just in case things get violent. I built in a something that should perhaps stun things for you, give you a little bit of extra time. Hopefully not something you'll have to use. But there you have it. Can't say I've tested it, so I suppose we'll just have to hope it works.
Absolutely. Well, we'll have to bring this along with us as we get around the area. I worry what that tower off to the off the coast is in it. If there's anybody in there that may possibly be in this circumstance. Now, let me ask. Should it come that we find multiple people that have this circumstance that they have to deal with, will this box be charged enough to deal with them, or how would we recharge it?
I did think of that. Leave it out in the sun for a day.
Hell yeah.
Solar-powered ghost trap.
It will use the heat and the light to produce the energies it needs to strike away at the ghostly for you.
So, did you say that the hint for the third place was like Shimmering Hills or something like that?
Yeah, if you ask her about it, she'll tell you it's a place called the Dancing Hills.
Yeah, the Dancing Hills.
And
is this a metaphorical kind of hills? Like maybe it could be that tower out there because the tides are really high.
Well, she says last time I visited, they were in fact hills and not home to a tower, but to a small fortress, which is the location of this protected object. She says,
What was the fortress made out of?
Stone. It was, I believe, if my memory serves correctly, a repurposed dwarven fortress. Possibly older than the organization that created these keys, though I'm not sure about that.
I was just thinking of the crystal fortress that we found that was covered in ice.
Yeah, that icy one.
Yes.
I can't say
It's
I've
not
heard of
far
an
from
ice
here,
fortress.
so it would, in some ways, it would triangulate the location of the other two keys.
Well, let me admit I wasn't being entirely forthcoming with you all previously, because I admit you were as yet untested. But I can... Do you have a map of the area?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, you whip it out. And
Work.
She says, I can simply tell you where this is located, at least close enough. I'm sure you can find it once you're in the area.
Booyah, side quest. If we can get there before the obelisk is installed. Or after the obelisk is installed.
Let me ask. What... Did you intend to collect all of these keys and open the vault?
Oh, but of course.
That would make sense. However, we wanted to ask you what's actually in the vault.
I think it would be best for me to tell you. Now, I do not know. This time, it's true. I don't know all the details about what's inside. It was hidden away and scrubbed out of history by the organization that put it there. But I can say it was put there with noble intentions to keep it out of the hands of man and mortals. My understanding is the vault holds a device, an item, that can only be used nefariously. What little I've heard suggests that whoever were to obtain this item would gain a level of, you might say, mind control. And not something so simple as perhaps a one-word command, but something that could bring entire cities to their knees.
I understand your hesitation. We are actually looking for possible ways to stop the Redshift.
Oh, I'm all aware. Yes.
So, is it possible that this object in the vault is already being used to create and sustain a Redshift?
If you have the keys, there's no way anybody could have entered the vault.
Okay, all right, that's good to know. So it suggests that's something for us to talk about then, because it does suggest that maybe we do not want to open the vault.
I asked you to collect the key in the flower suit because I cannot properly guard it myself. And if and when you're successful in defeating the Redshift and bringing some normalcy back to Vesop, I hope people would return, but that might mean that people would find these items and find the vault. And I'm not so short-sighted that I think this is inevitably impossible. So if your organization can secret these away, that would, I think, to the best of my ability, fulfill the duty that I'm still trying to achieve.
Okay. Well, that seems like something we should keep in mind for sure.
If you want to go get the object in the vault, I cannot stop you, and I won't hold it against you. But I will warn you that many talented people have put a lot of work into keeping this thing out of this world.
Sounds like for good reason.
And the people who did it had quite an interest in keeping it that way.
Okay. Well, that's something we can continue to talk about. We don't know the location of the third key yet, so, you know.
Well, I mean, she just marked my map.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, yeah, we do.
Okay.
I mean, we could destroy these keys and ensure that vault is never open.
Absolutely not.
I thought of something completely different.
Right.
Actually,
So-
the destruction of the artifact itself, or whatever this thing is that gives such power, either destroying or finding a way to reforge it into something that can help us against the Redshift, seems like a better purpose.
Against the enemy.
Not to
Right.
actually have anybody specifically activate it and use it, because that's probably going to go down a very dark road very quickly. But instead to simply gather it and keep
I
it
will
at
say,
arm's reach.
if it had been possible for the sorcerers who prepared this to destroy the thing, they certainly would have. Perhaps you'll be able to find something they couldn't, but just once again as a warning.
Right.
These
And that's an
things
important thing to
were
keep
tried.
in mind. If they could not destroy it once it was created, then that is the typical thing that happens, is you lock it away forever.
Indeed.
True, but magic has advanced over 1,000 years since it was created. We might have solutions that didn't exist then.
And I am wary of power like that.
Again, I can
because it does
only
tend
leave
to
that
corrupt.
decision up to you and your commission. So
I understand the attraction
I only
of
ask
power,
that
but-
you. I only ask that you consider your choices carefully and know that if you were to undo the vault, it may be difficult for you to reseal it.
Let's see.
Well, yeah, we don't know. When we find the vault, we don't know what form it's going to take. Like, how do these keys become keys? Do they, So maybe you could just close the door again, but we don't actually know.
Alas, I can't help with that part either. I've never actually been to the vault.
Like, so if we will only know by opening it, or at least by figuring out the mechanism, whether or not it's something we can open and then close again once we see what's inside it. And I don't know. I mean, it might be cool to incorporate into some rock concerts a thing that made people really feel my music.
Yeah,
sounds
I'm
neat.
not a fan of mind control. Sorry.
Also, what do we don't know what connection this has with the Redshift at all either, right?
We don't know. We are actively searching for ways to stop the Redshift. Taking a side detour for mind control item seems like a detour to me.
Maybe if we can use it to mind control the person in charge of the Redshift, if we find that person.
Maybe.
But we don't know if it's not a natural or a magical natural.
Right. So to me, going and finding the third key and then doing anything at all with the vault sounds like a detour from our actual goal.
I don't know about you. I mean, yes,
I don't
expedition's
foster
goal, but
the pursuit of power either, and I know that some of you do.
Oh, well, wait, not power. Really?
Oh yes, power.
No, collectibles. We used to understand and collect.
Is Albus Tavern going to take the it belongs in a museum route?
That's exactly what he said. It belongs in a museum, in a locked door where it can be studied by a few groups of people, so that maybe we can
Right.
take
So
weapons
somebody else that you
Or-
have no control over, who may not have any discipline, but who is very hungry for power, can go ahead and take the power.
Oh,
You understand the
you
danger
have
of that?
all the right to judge who does and who doesn't get the power, do you?
I just don't want to be around when it happens, frankly.
Yeah, exactly. Which is why it should be locked up in a vault.
I'm enjoying this campfire discussion, and I don't want to interrupt it. So I will simply interrupt it by telling you guys that this is a campfire discussion, and while this is happening, the sun is setting, and Dex has sort of been participating in this conversation as well, but mostly with Arissa, and he has been working on getting the obelisk out of the cart and set up.
Give us some idea where he's going to set it up. It seems like it ought to be out of this antechamber.
Yeah, probably like right around here.
All right.
So you can it'll cover basically this whole area plus a little bit more, and you'll be able to kind of possibly use the tower itself as a safe house. Probably use this building, maybe give it a roof, and then maybe put like a few tents, dig a well, all that good stuff, and plenty of trees around for lumber as well.
This place could become a defendable fort, yeah.
Indeed, yeah. It wouldn't be hard to like build a small wall that incorporates the tower itself either.
That's exactly what Albus was thinking. Something not akin to a fort, but whatever those places, ranger stations.
So this will take, he says, most likely most of the day tomorrow. I should be done by lunchtime. If you'd all like to stay and help out, the aid's appreciated, and we should be expecting the first wave soon.
Yeah, I would definitely stay to help.
Yeah,
Certainly.
Yeah, as will I.
Yeah,
I
that
would
makes sense.
like to. I would like to stay to help and also maybe mark out a few areas on my map, or a little bit more detailed map of the area now that we have it marked out. Give it to some of the people who actually build stuff, so that I can be all like, "Hey, this would be a good spot here, and this is what this area looks like." And
Hey, you want to do like a topo map so they can see the shape of the hill and shit?
Okay, cool. In that case, we'll go through the night, and you guys can assist with this, and obviously any conversations that you want to have with any. Oh, goodbye. Welcome back.
I didn't mean to press that button. I'm sorry.
Like I was saying, any conversations you guys want to have with Arissa or Dex about plans and stuff, feel free to bring those up. But we'll just go right ahead and skip over to tomorrow, pretty much. And you guys can interject however you want.
Yeah, that's fine. The only thing I would casually suggest to Decus is that he might want to talk to Arissa about long-distance communication devices, given that she has some experience with that technology of her own.
That's a good idea. So he can definitely do that, and they can confer on the tech, and actually when he brings up that you guys have been using that tech that you took from a place in Vesoth, it's something she recognizes and is basically the same thing that she was using. So she says, "Oh yes, point-to-point two-way communication, perfect. Built in on focal points, and usually located in the major cities. A few other places here and there. Mostly, you'd probably find them in houses, maybe in the courtyard of wealthy folk, plus any leaders, city guard, that sort of thing. I had one here myself. It no longer works, unfortunately, since the tower collapsed, but
perhaps you two could restore it.
Or backwards engineer some of the technology.
Right, or jury rig it into the existing one that'll be on the obelisk.
I wonder if I could get in
Oh, I
touch
like that plan.
In touch with who?
if we could repair the communication systems out here. I have connections to Vest, to All Saints, to Shose, to Ofewell. This is like everywhere. I can't possibly hope that there's anybody still alive in those places. But
maybe there are more people like you.
oh, it's worth a try. Okay, let's do it. If we can build some kind of connection between this obelisk and the tower's hardware, we might be able to make a connection.
Might we then want to build the obelisk in the tower then?
Well, you still want to place it for maximum coverage for its primary purpose.
Right.
Yeah.
Wouldn't this kind of cover everything? Right here? Like just inside the doorway?
It might. One key thing is that the tower itself may not be tall enough in most places to support this object when standing upright. So outdoors may have to do.
Gotcha.
But it can go quite nearby, and to your surprise, Arissa's hands are able to reappear from within the tower once more, carrying or dragging a large or a set of large cables that she apparently has pulled out of some other device or object in this tower. She says, wasn't using these for anything else. We might be able to hook something together. And,
I like it.
Yeah, anything we can do to help.
I'll shout if I need a third hand, and she and Dex will spend most of the day working on this system. So just a check-in with the rest of the party. What? No, it's okay. Hold the flashlight.
Exactly.
what are the party's plans next? Because I feel like whatever we do might be best to pick up next 2 sessions and do a part 1, part 2 maybe after the 1 week break. But what are your plans after this? Because essentially within the next day you guys are going to have a safe house here.
Right. Yeah, I want to grab that 3rd key next personally. Whether or not we decide to actually open that vault is a question we really shouldn't even consider until we have all those keys in our possession.
Yeah, I agree with that, and we can make a more informed decision about like what might be opening the vault, or what might the vault be, or what the effects will be of that. Despite, not even thinking about the thing within, but what it will mean to go do that.
And for all we know, it's already leaking energy out and doing bad stuff that we can't even contain because we can't get to it.
Right.
But there's also no guarantee that we could contain it if we can get to it.
Well, I don't know. We could make a redshift bubble around it or find some other way.
Oh yeah? You know how to do that?
Maybe.
Just
I can learn.
group and lock it into a different vault.
I guess I think my agenda would be, as soon as the obelisk and the communication device is up, that we make a call back to the general, the brigadier, and let her know what we've learned about what's in the vault, so that she can be contemplating that, and we can let her know that it's our plan to go and collect the 3rd key, but that when we get back, then she and the others have got to make a decision about go, no go on the vault.
Well, yeah, at least what the disposition of the stuff inside's going to be when we get it back.
Well, we don't have a fucking clue.
Realistically,
if you want my opinion,
we don't even know where the place is, so it could very well be that we've got scouts trying to locate the dancing hills while we take a boat right out to that tower.
True.
And it could be in the vault with the 3 keys up where we already found that old tower on the island.
Right. You mean it could be up in the northwest, basically.
Right.
Dex chimes in. If you want my opinion, I can't speak for Lucent, but I'd guess getting a hold of this key isn't a bad idea. And we can definitely keep it safe. We could even send all 3 keys back to the Empire and put them in places of safekeeping separately, not even in the Redshift zone anymore.
Yep.
Wise.
With people not knowing what they are or what they're for or anything.
Sure.
Certainly farther from harm.
Yes.
Right. Reach of our potential enemies.
And plus, if all 3 of them take the form of useful magic items, that's one more thing we can keep out of the hands of those dragons.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless they found it already.
Okay, well, I think that's the main thing that is on my mind right now, is that as soon as the obelisk is up and the communication device works, to let a brigadier know what's in the vault, so that she can think about it while we're off doing whatever.
Yeah, while we're acquiring the key.
Because that's not a decision to be made lightly.
I agree.
This would be the dumbest, but if it came down to it, I bet we could actually get Salmes to cut us a good deal to give us some. I don't know what would be worthwhile from Stygian, but let him kind of go back with the thing and raise hell in hell and never come back here again.
Yeah, I don't know if he's made connection with my guild or not.
Yeah, I'm not so sure that giving a mind control device to the denizens of hell is a good idea.
Yeah, see, that's what I heard, but I thought maybe there was something crazy in my ear.
Well,
Yeah, that just in general just doesn't sound like a good idea. Besides the fact that you're allowing that thing then to go into the world, so it doesn't really matter who you give it to. Someone else will eventually get it.
Sure. And as soon as somebody knows what it is, then yeah, I mean, they'll be chasing that thing for the next 1,000 years.
well, my thought was that he'll be so busy trying to make an army in Stygian to take it over that he won't even bother with this plane anymore.
Endless wars and whatnot.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
I've
All
read
right.
all about the
If I get a
Blood War.
vote, I vote no.
I said it was a stupid
I'm
one.
gonna get it.
Yeah, I mean, Selmas might be an interesting business fellow, but I still like the idea of locking it into a giant vault so it can be studied. Belongs in a museum.
I admit that I am curious as to the workings of the vault itself. I don't care so much about its contents.
Yeah, same actually. I'm very curious about the minds that put together the keys and how they work together and the fail-safes that went into the process. This is a good thing to know for things we want to safeguard for the next 1,000 years.
Right.
Yeah,
It could be that
What's
rather than
actually
take
in it? No thanks.
As usual, I'm down because this sounds like a really exciting adventure.
Nice. But yeah, I also think that it could be that if that vault is useful to us, we could use it rather than take things out of it. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Yeah,
certainly. We could
that's
put other
true.
things. That was another thing I was saying is we don't know what form it takes, so we don't know what it means to open it. So we don't know if we can open it and then use it as a vault.
Right.
Kidnap a dragon lady, throw her inside.
Right.
Wait, who
I
said
mean,
that?
I mean,
Among
Yeah.
other things.
Holy shit, I've played Dead Money.
And I did lock that fucker in the vault. You can have your
Justice,
gold,
right?
buddy.
Exactly.
Well, except for in your case, one ingot.
Well, I think I took 3. But
Listen,
I was good.
if locking sentience in a vault to suffocate and starve is good enough for Doctor Who,
Oh, he wasn't gonna suffocate and starve. He was a ghoul.
And the Mother of Dragons. Yeah.
oh no, don't worry. We're talking. I was
Different
making.
You're
story.
doing Doctor Who.
reference
I was
to,
doing Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
Right.
I was
Right, we were spoiling Fallout.
recent season, the bad season.
But
Okay,
yeah, that
I
well,
think all of that's pending that scouts actually find the location. Otherwise, I figure the boat's probably more of a sure bet.
Well, you're expecting the boat to be ready, not after this coming Redshift, but after the most likely the next one. Just based
So
on,
there's some time.
yeah,
Gotcha.
you've got about another week and a half before
So-
any sort of sailing is potentially ready for you all.
so Arissa marked up where on the map? Do we know where that is?
Yeah, and this would be
Fortress.
no.
Okay. That would have been some dramatic irony. And
Are you all on the map and in view?
I
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The
fantastic map, guys.
the location you'd be looking for is around here.
Okay.
Okay.
I missed it. Hold on.
Final key.
And
Oh, here,
did
here,
Arissa
Evergreen,
give
let
us
me-
any information about signs
Okay, I
and
see it.
portents and stuff like she did with the other two?
She'll say, well, it's not like the Flower Sea where you need a book to get in or a key for the key. You all went through the challenges they had built up in the other two.
I took
Yes, there was. Both of them involved pocket dimensions full of illusions.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know,
Um,
but I took a walk.
you can expect something a little bit similar in the old fort, but I think if you've made it through 2, I guess spoiling the challenge isn't really against the Guardian's code. So, how to do this? It's a fine line.
You ever map the pocket dimension? Decus?
Keep an eye out for constructs in this one.
Oh, we love constructs.
Sentient constructs?
Think of them like automatons.
All right. Okay.
You don't have to feel bad about breaking them, really.
It's precisely where my mind went. Oh, so we can kill these with impunity.
Unless you feel like you're offending the craftsman, in which case,
I kind of
maybe stay your hammer. But I'm sure they wouldn't mind if it's for a good cause. That's what they're there for.
It really depends on how beautiful the thing is. I'll only not smash it if it's fucking gorgeous.
I kind of want to bring Smitty with us now.
Dex says, I can't say I have mapped out many demi-planes. Usually they're small enough that you don't need to. A room or two.
Well, here, look at this. I show him my map. Of the demi-plane.
You show him your chaos.
It's a map. Where it starts from, and
Do you remember that time I wrote down my LSD trip in my journal?
I was completely sober.
He takes it. He
how
takes
many
a look
pocket
at it.
dimensions have we been in? 4?
I
5?
think this makes 3.
No,
Which
because
other
we
ones
were
have we been
in 2
to?
different pocket dimensions just for the first 2
We've been in
keys.
the vault. We've been in the key, the other key, and then there was the shadow.
There was a pocket dimension
shadow
of
beast thing.
the shadow, the gray people, the gray area. There was a pocket dimension at the vault, the island.
Oh well,
Had a
the
pocket
gray
dimension.
area was the Feywild, not a pocket.
A pocket dimension, a pocket
Yeah.
dimension, a pocket dimension.
So
Okay, it wasn't a pocket dimension. I thought it was.
no, the Feywild is a shifted plane from the material.
Oh. What's the difference between a shifted plane and a pocket dimension?
Pocket dimensions
OGM?
are usually man-made to some degree. They are usually they usually have their own rules, and there can be endless numbers of them compared to the natural world of planar delights, which has like the 2 shifted planes, the 4 elemental planes, and then the various other outer planes and material planes that are that themselves are infinite, but are individual universes, not just.
I guess I learned those when I get closer to level 20, huh?
Well, I think druids can plane shift later on, but Dex is also a planar expert, so you may have absorbed some of this knowledge from him at some point.
Okay. All right. So 3. I stand corrected.
By my memory, I think it's 3. Yeah, 3 plus the Feywild so far. All right. So, should we say then that with the approval of Dex so far, next time the party will be going to the Dancing Hills?
Sounds like it.
If the Redshift doesn't interrupt
Seems
us.
very likely.
Okay.
Sounds like it.
Well then, you guys have, it did take you 6 days to get here, and so this is a little bit early for the session, but we'll say in the interest of running things smoothly next session and not making you guys wait through a long break, the Redshift starts this evening as you guys are as Dex is putting the finishing touches on the obelisk. The first wave hits you with the handful of musical notes that you're used to, and at that he basically says, Well, I'm probably going to stay here. Arissa and I have plenty to talk about for the next week. Give me another couple of hours and I can get this thing put together for real and fully safe, and then we can get in touch with Lucent. Hope you all are comfortable sitting out on the maiden voyage of this thing.
Sure.
Of course.
Don't worry, it works.
Alvin Sapper
And
brings
we
out
can
a
look
bottle
at,
of liquor.
with Arissa's permission, we can look at kind of confiscating some of the furniture and see if we can make something into makeshift accommodations.
Oh yeah, yeah, and she says, feel free to take what you need from the nearby forests. There aren't too many of you, so I have no qualms with you doing what you have to do to
we'll just
drive out here.
We'll manufacture food if Ambergreen will continue to do that.
Yeah, you've got enough to last you into the next break in the Redshift. Okay. And
I'm thinking if we're going to go to the Dancing Hills, then we should go due west and kind of skip or bypass going to another hub.
Killer.
That does seem like it would be quick.
Yeah.
Well, quicker.
Yeah. And
we
plus,
we won't necessarily have a lot of supplies or anything.
Yeah,
so.
And you guys won't have really any downtime supplies here either, so we'll probably just skip over that next time. All right.
It would have been nice to use that tier 3 spell slot, but
that's true. You know what? Look, hold on to it. Consider it like a point of inspiration. You'll keep it till you use it. You don't need to get rid of it at a long rest.
Well, thanks.
Yeah.
Powerful. Nice.
It'll be the first.
I had a cell phone to take a picture. It was very pretty in this.
The first 3rd level spell slot that you use will consume that slot. So right. If you just cast 1 next time, you won't have 3 when you take a long rest. Okay then. Yeah. That's gonna be it. Everybody's gonna get 500 experience points for the efforts so far and the creation of the latest obelisk.
Dang.
God, I'm so close to dinging.
Ding. I did
500.
What are you at, Naya? Are you currently at 13,100, Naya, or 13,600?
So close. Damn.
How did you end up with a 4?
I have no idea, and I don't know how all these other people have gone ahead of me, but I think I missed a couple of sessions that had loot and combat. So
yeah, that's basically me too. I'm pretty close. Pretty close.
I'll try ding after the next time.
Did anybody else besides Albus Tabard ding?
No.
Still, yeah, I did last session.
551 away.
Ooh, all right.
4,000 away. So
no money or no experience in that money making game.
Albus, didn't we realize that you need a certain stat to do that?
I'm 525 from a level.
13 charisma. Remember?
Yeah, you're right. Never mind.
I'm just under 400.
Don't worry, I forgot to.
It's okay. It was a really cool one.
No, I don't disagree. You can probably get there at some point.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to get the thing that I wanted, though, which was packed to the chain.
I understand.
Let me do some reading before I level then.
Well, I think the rogue level 6 is just another expertise. So 2 more skills to get expertise in.
Is it?
Yeah. On top of health and that's it.
Yep, just expertise and HP.
I don't know if you get a spell though from Arcane
I might do something else.
Yeah. Well, Alvis, let me know what you end up doing, and I'll also go ahead and roll your health whenever you're ready.
That'll
But,
be affected if I take that second class though, won't it? Or is it always whatever is the higher number?
What was that?
Won't that be affected if I take a second class?
Yeah, if you decide to multi-class, it'll be your it'll be whichever class you're leveling up.
Okay.
But yeah, okay. Good game, gang. Thanks for joining.
Yeah, thanks for the session, man.
So we'll be on, if all goes well, on the 24th and 31st. So sign up whenever you can, and then we'll go do a dungeon.
Sweet. See you in 2 weeks then. Have a good one.
Right on. Yep.
Yeah.
See you, everybody.
Later.
Bye, everyone.
Cheers.